Welcome back to the Will Makaway channel. And tonight we're going to discuss if the blacks should be going over to the conservative side. We got some folks saying that we need to get off this Democrat ship. Now, I'm in the middle. I don't know. I'm going to see where we go, and I'm going to tell them where I lean, okay? They saying that, you know, Republicans, you win a national football championship, they bring you to the White House, feed you McDonald's hamburgers. That's how they want America to be. That's how they want it to be, okay? Grabbing people in inappropriate spots. I don't know, they might have some good policies over there. Democrats might have some bad ones, but we're going to see. We're going to go ahead and get into this. Let me bring the panel up. We're going to see what's going on. All right, you guys unmute yourself if you're on mute, and we're going to get into it and see what's going on. How you doing, Mr. Deuce?
What's going on, brother?
Everything's going good. Let me see. We got Rush to Truth. Let's see if we can get Rush to Truth. Need to unmute.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. I understand you might want to be on mute for a little while because, you know, it might get a little intense in here. I'm bring that fire. Don't bring that
I got plenty of water.
Oh. Got plenty of water?
Plenty of water.
All right. So, the last presidential election cycle, right? If you don't mind me asking, which side did you lean?
Who are you asking, me or?
Yeah, I'm actually you. I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm conservative. I mean, my family has always been the black sheep when it came to political parties.
oh, okay.
So
Well, that's good. Okay. Now, my family, then we go to Dukes, right? Always been on the left leaning side, but things kind of changing, at least for me and my generation. But the older folks, they just go along with the get along stuff. So, we trying to change that up just a little bit. And I ask, since you're right leaning, what's your let's say nationality? How about that? Let's ask that question.
American.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't claim a nationality. I mean, if you want to, get with, what the government says you need to put on, if they ask what you filling out on applications and stuff, I'm black on paper, but
Okay.
I'm multiracial, and with that, I'm just American. I'm not going to claim one race is over the other race. I'm not going to say I'm black or I'm white or I'm just American. I can tell you what I'm mixed with.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
But I'm not. I'm not. I can tell you if you want, but I mean, I got a whole smorgasbord. My family didn't know how to keep to themselves.
I understand.
Yeah. So we got Chinese, we have Puerto Rican, we have, of course you black, and then I got Blackfoot Indian, and then there's a whole bunch of other stuff in the mix.
Okay. So let's slide down to Mr. Deuce before we get into the conversation. Right leaning, left leaning, where you at?
I'm right leaning,
Okay.
conservative,
Oh wow.
American Negro.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
You,
American, not African American, American Negro.
do you support the indictments against the former president right now?
Heck no.
No.
You don't support the indictments?
No.
No.
Wow.
They trying to do everything they can to get that man out of, so people can't vote for him, man. It is what it is.
All right.
Look, this is what you gotta look at too. Okay. And one said you got Biden, and then you got a whole bunch of other. There's on both sides, right and left, that have gotten away with a bunch of stuff, right?
Oh, I agree with
Over
that.
the years, you got Hillary Clinton with her emails in her bathroom, her email server in her bathroom.
Oh, wow.
All right. Then they squashed that.
Mm-hmm.
She used what was called it was some. Anyway, it destroyed the hard drive or whatever it's called. They said she bleached it or whatever. That's the type of software that it was. But then you got on the same side, you got Biden and his whole family. Before the election, they said, "Oh, it's Russian disinformation. You can't trust it. It's a lie. It's a lie. Shut you down." But then it comes out now that the laptop was actually true, that the Bidens did actually take money, bribes and stuff. You're not going after them, but you're going after the person that pointed fingers at it.
But wasn't that Biden?
And shed light on it.
I mean, in Russia, but wasn't that Biden's son?
Biden's son, but Biden himself was also called the big guy.
The big guy.
In code and tech, yeah, the big guy. They called him the big guy. He was like, cut the big guy in. But then they also had whistleblowers. They did people wrong. The Bidens did. They had people that they were teamed up with, did businesses with, and then they burned those bridges. So what are they going to do? They're going to turn around and they're going to try to do what they can at the same time. Not everything is held in private like you think it is. People are going to hold receipts just in case they need you for something later on if you don't do right. But they've come out and spoken against it.
All right. So hold that thought. So V-Rock, I don't know. You need to unmute. You need to figure out what's going on. V-Rock, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I appreciate you joining the panel.
Okay, well, I was invited by my man Deuce, and I'm gonna be honest about everything with me. I grew up Democrat. Grew up. We thought Democrat was the only way to go.
Mm-hmm.
But as I gotten older and hopefully a little wiser, I'm right now I'm leaning right. I'm gonna say independent, but I'm not staunchly Democrat anymore because of the fact that what I've seen is the Democrats appease black people. They appease us and they tell us what they think we want to hear, but they never come through with what they say. Right. And plus, they are a party of people who are just trying to put chains on us. You know, have us in Section 8, have us getting food stamps, have us, not being self-sufficient. And if you support this party, then you're not going to be self-sufficient. You're not going to believe in entrepreneurship. You're not going to believe in, stand up on your own 2 feet. You're going to believe that somebody's supposed to give you a handout. Mm-hmm. These are the things that I've learned in recent years.
Now, yeah, I agree with some of those points, too. Now, I grew up with the Democrat thing, too. But to be honest with you, is more of my parents, kind of saying what to do. Because, to be honest, when I was young coming up, didn't really pay too much attention. Now, whether you like Trump or not, I think that's one thing Trump did. He got a lot of people attention that might have been paying attention before, just because of, I guess you would call, the antics, right? Now, I did pay attention when, I guess when I kind of got lost, when Barack Obama kind of changed the marriage thing. I really wasn't feeling the whole marriage thing. That kind of like,
right,
because now, I don't know. Well, go ahead.
I'm sorry. That was the breaking point for me, because I'm going to be honest again. I was full force Barack Obama. I worked on the campaign. I made calls for him. I did everything, Barack Obama. But Barack Obama's, he looked at the gays and, the immigrants more than he looked at black folks, in all honesty.
Oh.
And I'm like you, when they started doing this thing about same-sex marriage and then incorporating it in the military, that's where he lost me. Because now you're saying this person who woke up one day and decide, I want same sex. It's not like us. We were born a certain way. We didn't wake up and say, oh, this is what I am. But see, these folks wake up and say, oh, I want to be a woman now. And it got so bad that you have kids who are 10, 11, and 12 years old that want to identify as a opposite sex. And that is, in the lack of a better term, demonic.
Well, now, where I stand on that now, I don't disagree with people doing what they want to do. It's the whole, I guess, getting the government involved in it, kind of like the traditional family thing. So if you want to be what you want to be, do what you want to do, whatever. But
they can't be pushing it. They can't be pushing it. Go ahead.
And that's what I was going to say. Go ahead, ma'am.
No, I was about to say, if you're an adult, do what you want to do, but kids are impressionable.
Right.
You're shaping minds. So you telling a 10, 11, 12-year-old that, hey, yeah, you can be a boy, you can go ahead and get your bottom surgery, get something irreversible, something that's non-irreversible done. His mind isn't fully developed yet, and then you're gonna put him on synthetic hormones. Do you know what those synthetic hormones are made out of? No. If you look it up, look it up. Look up to see what the synthetic hormones are made out of for both male and female. It's synthetic, so it destroys their system. They haven't even hit puberty yet.
Exactly.
And then they come back out. 5-6 years down the road, completely brainwashed. But then they come to, and then they have a realization that they want to be moms, they want to be dads, they actually have a crush on girls. They don't actually like boys like that, but the damage is done. I follow a thread of detransitioners right now that one of them, she says that she is always in pain. Anytime she breathes, she hurts.
Oh, wow.
Anytime she takes a deep breath, her rib cage expands, because your lungs expand, right? But she got to push her rib cage down because she wore a chest binder for so long. Mm-hmm. So wow. If you're an adult, yeah, go ahead. You do you, boo-boo. But you're not going to come for my kids and then put these perverted books in the library about certain types of sex and whatever you can do with it. And then tell the parents. Right. And now they're telling parents, hey, you don't have a say in what your child wants to be. California just passed it to where they said that if you refuse your child transgender surgery, then or transitioning period, they can take your child away from you.
Oh wow.
Wow.
That just happened in California.
Well, I know somewhere was some of that stuff was backfiring with some of the dudes that was, are changing their sex, getting on the women's track team. Y'all heard about that?
Oh, they coming out and they putting standards out there on that too, yeah.
Yeah, some of that stuff is backfiring.
Now, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, excellent. Yes. When I look at the swimmer who came in last place in all the men events, all of a sudden, now I want to swim as a woman. And you win, but you still got the characteristic of a man. Now, this is where the line is drawn. As you both stated, if you're grown, you do what you want to do. But just don't try to incorporate it and have us and force us to accept it as a way of life.
Leah Thomas.
That's a personal choice.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, you can see it. You see them think that they're pushing a lot of it in your children's TV shows.
Exactly.
It's in commercials now. They're trying to normalize it.
Exactly. And see, that's the problem I have. I have a 12-year-old daughter. I could remember she was 4 years old. We look at a show that come on Nickelodeon. One of the characters has 2 daddies. My daughter, at the age of 8, she wants to know what the LGBTQ mean. And they are pushing the stuff on our kids. And this is the reason we got to be on top of things with them, because they're trying to pull them in.
So, all right. So you say we saying all this to say what? Y'all saying that it's the Democrats that's emboldening it and keeping it out there. You Republicans, the conservatives ain't got nothing to do with that, right? That's what we're saying.
That's true.
For the most part, I mean, you got your wolves and sheep clothing on the Republican side. We call them rhinos.
Yeah, that's true. That's true as well.
So you got some of those over there, but for the majority part, you do actually have home Christian value conservatives. I mean, you've had Democrats that had the same values. They were Democrat, and then over the past year or so, they switched parties. They left the Democratic Party. They said they left the Democratic Party because the Democratic Party left them.
Those
are politicians.
All right, so now I know a lot of things changed. You got the internet, and people there's all kind of ways to make money and to be self-sufficient. So back before we had all these, I say maybe even before the 80s, 70s, was there a point for the black folks where the Democrat was the way to go, and it just wasn't no seeing on the Republican side? I mean, because of, what they call it, segregation, all the kind of stuff that was going on, So was it worth it back then?
V-Rock, go ahead and hit that for me real quick.
All right, now, here's what happened with the parties. Back in 1964, when Democratic President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Civil Rights
LBJ.
Act. Yes. So you had your Democrats, a lot of them disassociated with him and became Dixiecrat initially. One of the state senators of South Carolina, Strom Thurmond, was one of them, a Dixiecrat. So they wanted to disassociate themselves with Lyndon B. Johnson in the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act and the Immigration Rights Act. Mm-hmm. So when Barry Goldwater ran against Johnson in 64, he wrote a book called The Mind of a Conservative. And he was able to get a lot of the votes in the Republican Party. Now, a lot of your significant black people in history was Republican. Martin Luther King Jr., along with his father, Martin Luther King Sr., Republican. Jackie Robinson, the first black man to play modern-day baseball, Republican. Frederick Douglass, abolitionist, Republican. And the list goes on about all the people who was Republican. As a matter of fact, it was black Republicans who was able to talk President Nixon into resigning in 1974 due to the Watergate scandal. So black Republicans is not like something that just happened. it's something that is historical because the Republican Party started as an abolitionist party. That was their main thing, is to abolish slavery. So this is why this party started. And this is something I was just in Springfield, Illinois, the land of Abraham Lincoln. And I got to go to the museum and got to even visit the home where he lived. And his main objective was to be the president to abolish slavery. And he was Republican. And Republicans have always in history, and I just learned this, guys, been the one who had our best interests at heart as far as farming, as far as having your own businesses, as far as doing things on your own. So then let's go to 1968. What happened in 1968? This is when all your when you got the Democrats, because Lyndon B. Johnson before Barack Obama had got more black votes than anybody. So what he did, he initiated welfare for the black folks. He initiated the food stamp for the black folks. He called it a war on poverty, but I call it the handout party. It's because people start getting these things and they start, going Democrats. I can go back to some of the 90s. What was Democrats doing when they said they was doing things to help blacks in the neighborhood? Having basketball game. I mean, how, to me, racist is that? Because, all we like to do is play basketball.
Well,
so, and one more thing, I'm gonna get the mic back to you, brother. Let's look at the president now. He ran for president back in 1988. This dude plagiarized. Back in 1988, before you had Microsoft, before you had the internet, he plagiarized a guy in England about being the first one to go to college and to finish and become a lawyer, so on and so forth. So this dude is fraud from the beginning.
Fraud from the beginning.
Yes.
Now, when you say it's racist because they appeal to basketball and stuff like that, right?
Right.
Now, could it be a fine line? Because say if it's a group of people, but if that's what they like to do, I guess it could be hindering them, but they don't see it. So I guess that could be the racist within it. But and then you got a lot of folks, right? If they didn't have, I don't know, food and all that, so they needed food stamps and all that, which I do understand on the back end. If it's the person supplying all that, you can look in the future because you got the power to supply it and say, well, if I make them dependent on this gonna happen down the road. So I do understand, that aspect. But so was the folks not critically thinking when they accepted all that, I guess I should say?
Right. They were being appeased. Now, as you were saying, if you like to play basketball, in my younger days, I liked to play basketball. No lie. Where I grew up at, my school was pretty heavy on basketball. I do like to play basketball, but don't make it as an agenda to say you're going to better my condition.
Right.
And this is what I'm saying. You find some of the things that they feel appease us as a people that they throw at us. And one of the things that Deuce and I talk about is having businesses, entrepreneurship, because this is what was lost when blacks went into Democrat. Mm-hmm. I watched now the last mayor of Columbia, South Carolina, a black guy. He's one of the advisors for Biden now. He got a state senator from here. Appeasement.
You talking about Clyburn?
Sir?
You talking about Clyburn?
No, Steve Benjamin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Clyburn, lifelong Democrat. He's past his prime, such as the president. These guys didn't get to a certain age because of the fact that here's a man who's running for re-election. He's going to be 82 years old in November of 2024.
Right.
At 82, I won't be sitting down in my rocking chair, watching TV, doing something, but not trying to run a country.
Yeah, but I think they got.
I mean, okay.
I guess they figured that's their best bet against Trump. No, just leave him up there. No new Democrats run. Just let the Republicans battle it out, and we're gonna leave him up there. And I don't know.
But when you listen to this guy, and you can hear someone that had the signs of dementia. You can hear this already. They tried to say that about Reagan. They tried to put this on Reagan, and Reagan was not even 80 years old when he left office. And here's a man that's in his 80s now. So we need sound leadership in this country.
Right, because if he was a regular guy in any other regular job, he probably retire by now.
Go ahead and retire this dude, bro. Get him out of here, man.
Yeah,
right.
He wouldn't have been working.
Get him up out of here.
Next year, I'm going to be 60 years old. I'm done with the Army National Guard, but I'm not going to try to stay in there till I'm 80 years old.
No.
80 years old, I want to be chilling with my grandkids.
Right.
Not trying to run the military, not trying to run the country, not trying to be a congressman, because Clyburn is 80 years old himself.
Like I said, I think they're doing it. Go ahead.
And see, here's the thing they're going to use. Check this out. They're going to use example like Strom Thurmond, who was in there till he was 100 years old, but Strom Thurmond wasn't doing anything. Strom Thurmond had all kinds of people around him, and him being in office was just like a, what's the word I'm looking for? They wanted to make history with that.
Mm-hmm.
And Clyburn, I'm more than sure, got people around him, and Biden do too. But these guys at these age, they need to step down at some point. Look at our Supreme Court justices. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you look at our Supreme Court justices. We just lost two of them to death. Scalini and Ruth Bader Ginsburg. They tried to tell Ruth Bader Ginsburg, okay, don't you think it's time to get out there? And she was like, no, I'm going to stay here till I'm 90 or 100 years old. But she didn't make it there.
Yeah, she got off just enough time to die. That's a lifetime appointment. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a lifetime appointment job. Now, I don't know about no lifetime appointment. I don't know why they do that, because you can't relate
I don't know either. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, because you can't relate to even people in their 60s when you're almost 80.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know why they do that. So you think, I guess to the original question, there was really no real point in time where it would have benefited us folks to actually be a staunch Democrat? No time, really? I mean, because really. I know Republicans more like pull yourself up by your bootstraps, build, stuff like that. But if the wind is knocked from underneath you before you even got the wind underneath you from the get-go, I don't know.
Hey, let's look at this real quick.
And let me try to go ahead, bro.
Let's look at all your major Democratic cities and what's going on in those cities. Let's look at Baltimore.
Well, hold on. That question I just asked, you going into the future now.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
ahead.
Well,
real quick. I want to say something. Is this? It never benefited us. It just was an appeasement.
Okay.
Just to get our votes. Because if we look at some parts of segregation, more black people had their own businesses. More black people had schools where kids were learning at a high level. More black people had more things going for them at that time. Was there segregation and discrimination? Of course there was. But at the same time, more black folks were being more self-sufficient.
Yeah, you're right about that, because I don't know, because my granddaddy, right, he had a farm, and that's how I was young to understand, but he never even talked about politics. He just did what he had to do, ran a church and ran his own little farm. Right. So I don't know. So you might be right. They didn't have all the influence, but they didn't really need it.
No, right. Because we were looking out for each other. We were helping each other out. We had, like, when you talk about the village raising a child, right. Because if we had this village raising our children now, we would not have a LGBTQ community trying to be impressionable to our children, because that community will cover that child.
Right. I appreciate that, brother. So Deuce, now what you about to say? What's going on with the Democrat-led cities?
Let's look at all our major Democratic ran cities.
All right. What you got?
Let's start out with Chicago, man. Chirac. Come on, man. It's a war zone. It's a war zone. Whose fault is that?
But whether it's Republicans or Democrats, can you blame that on politics? That people?
No, you can. Part of it you can, but most of it is our own self.
Because a good formidable Democrat named Lori Lightfoot tried to clean that up, and they went against Lori Lightfoot.
Oh, you mean Beetlejuice? That's Beetlejuice.
But she tried to clean that up. They went against her. So,
hey, guess what? They got somebody even worse than that now.
Oh my gosh.
They got somebody in there even worse. The crime rates, the homicides, the vehicle theft, the robberies, it's all went crazy. Go to California. What's his name?
Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, he ran for president.
Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom.
The one who Donald Jr. took his wife from him.
Got all the kids running in the Fendi and all these high-end stores robbing millions.
That man don't want that going on, man. Come on now.
Hey, he running the state.
You know, hey, do you know why he wants that stuff? Do y'all know why?
Go ahead.
Y'all know why they want that stuff? They want that stuff because they want to. They allow the problem. They create the problem so they can come in and swoop in and be the hero for the solution. But you want to know what that solution is going to be? That solution is going to be 15-minute cities. If you ain't heard of it, look it up. 15-minute cities is basically a big old lockdown. You talking about you have to sign. You basically have to. You can only go within certain distances, within a walking distance or bike distance. They're also called not necessarily a country. It's just like, in the movies when the dystopian, curfew. I'm sorry. Yeah, curfew. In the movies when you got like a dystopian, something big happens and so they got to shut down and everybody is isolated. So it's going to be something situated like that. But in order for right now, you can just hop in your car and be like, man, shoot, I want to drive to Florida for the weekend. I'm going to go to Florida. Right. For them, no, you ain't going to have that. You're not going to have that capability. They're going to make you buy into the, the decentralized currency or whatever like that. You're not going to have money like you think you got money. You're not going to have your freedoms like you got freedoms now. So that's all leading up to that. Because they're going to be like, oh man, crime has gotten out of control. Whatever shall we do? And then they're going to be like, you know what? Martial law.
Well,
New York.
Okay, well, let me throw a caveat in there with this stuff. This crime, this smash and grab, this Chicago, this LA curfew that Rush about to put on the country, right?
Go ahead.
When you see this stuff, this is mostly younger folks that's doing this stuff that's out and about that we seeing. Folks probably even younger than us on this panel right here. So to go back to, I guess, always tie that in back with some stuff V-Rock was saying, right? Do you think it was a breakdown? I guess y'all want to say, or we going to say because of the Democrat Party? Because back in the day, at least I know, if I got caught up doing something like that, I wasn't worried about the law. I worried about my parents.
My mama, your mom and your dad.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
guess who
so some of the stuff got to start in the house, not just with the politicians.
But guess
definitely.
But guess who incentivized the breakdown of the black family?
Go ahead.
You already know what the answer is.
You gonna say Hillary Clinton with the emails?
No, no.
The Democratic Party. The
Democratic Party. So back to what V-Rock was saying. Back to what V-Rock was saying. He mentioned LBJ. Do you know one of the biggest lines of LBJ?
Go ahead, break it down.
I have to break it down, but the biggest line was like, I'm gonna have these N-word.
Go ahead.
Voting Democrat for the next 200 years.
I heard that. Go ahead.
Exactly.
And he has said that. So
the new version of that is, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
You ain't black.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But no. But what I'm saying is like, so it started there. So he said, the whole welfare system situated started. You had fathers heavily in the home during that time in the black community.
Right.
Yeah.
You had them. They're not saying they were great, just like everybody else. Their household probably wasn't great, but they were present. more so than later. But what did LBJ say when he set up the welfare system? Oh, you don't need a man anymore. Let the government be your daddy.
Yeah, because they incentivize with some money, and like I was saying before.
Exactly.
But if you ain't had bread on the table, and Uncle Sam say, "Well, here goes some bread," you know what? Matter of fact, you got some cheese to go with that. So a person that ain't had that, go ahead.
He called it his war on poverty, and Lyndon B. Johnson. But in order to get these subsidies like welfare, food stamps, so on and so forth, the man had to be out of the home. So as Deuce say, this was a breakdown of the family, because now you have women saying, I don't need a man, I just want to have a child. Why? So you can get all these subsidies that the party is offering. And now a lot of these kids are growing up dysfunctional because they're growing up in incomplete homes. Boys growing up, they can't make manly decisions. I grew up with a mom and dad. Right. My dad taught me a lot of things that it took to be a man. I could not have learned these things under my mom alone. But this is what's happening. And this is done by design. While you're being appeased with all these subsidies, our family and we as people are being dehumanized.
Mm-hmm. So I go back to what I was saying, what Deuce was talking about, all these people running around, smashing and grabbing and ruining the city. Like I said, these mostly young folks. And like I said, back in the day, I wasn't afraid of the law. I was more afraid of my parents than the law. So I would.
And that's the same here. And see, Deuce, he's right. Because where are these kids growing up at? In the projects where you have the jet section 8 apartments, the projects where there are fatherless homes. Because father can't come and stay in those projects with the family. Like Good Time in a sense was a fantasy, except when they killed Dolph James.
Yeah, they killed Dolph James.
But
go ahead.
The man wasn't gonna be in the house in the project like that.
They had another movie that was. Go ahead.
These were designed to keep the father out the home. Another one, Habitat for Humanity. They're building homes for single moms that got 5, 6, or 7 kids. And you know who was one of the biggest spearhead behind that? Was the 39th president, Jimmy Carter.
Okay, well, let's pause right there, because I ran in back in the day some females that do stuff like that to stay into that system. Well, I gotta have this baby, or I can't get this high paying job because I'm gonna lose this subsidy or whatever coming in. So was some of this stuff built just to give you a leg up, and the people just taking advantage and getting stuck in that mindset to stay there, to take advantage of those, I don't know, supplies, food, whatever. I mean, so that's part of the Democrats' fault too, right? I mean, what would it take for a person to say, okay, this is just short term right now, and stop from getting hooked on it and living a lifestyle?
It was supposed to be something to help people out to get on their feet. That's what it was supposed to be. As a matter of fact, when we look at the original intent of welfare and food stamps and things like that, it was actually for the widows who lost husbands in World War II. That was the original intent.
Go ahead,
but then, after a while, when we got fast forward to the 60s and Lyndon B. Johnson war on poverty again, he started saying, like the young lady said, I'm going to have the inwards voting Democrat for forever. So he appeasing us with these things, because I know people who've been living in the projects, like, I don't mind telling my age. I'm 59 years old. And there are people who've been living in the projects since the 60s, still there today. You're not supposed to live there forever. You're supposed to get there, get on your feet, then be self-sufficient. You're not supposed to live on welfare forever. Okay, an example of that is, anybody remember the movie Precious?
Yeah,
I remember the movie.
And Monique character was just content living in project. And she would tell the daughter, now, man, this welfare woman come here, you better not mess this up for me. And that was the mindset. And that's the mindset of many of them. I'm content with living here. But no, I'm not content with that. We should not be content with that because we are demeaning ourselves by accepting that. We're demeaning ourselves by saying that I can't go out here and get me a decent job. I can't go out here and start me a business. I can't go out here and do this, that, and the other. Like you were saying, your grandfather, he was farming, making money to take care of the family.
And ran a church.
Right, and ran a church. But how many of us doing that now? Because, see, the Democrat Party is going to tell you that, oh, don't worry about a business. We got you.
Right. And speaking of that movie, there was a movie way back in the day. I can't remember the name of it. I think it was James Earl, the guy that played in Coming to America. He was a trash truck driver and then met a woman with a bunch of kids, and she was on the...
oh, you know what movie
Claudia.
that is.
Claudia.
Yeah, Claudia. Yep.
And he was giving her money, but when the Section 8 lady came, he would have to scram.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so there was a movie back in the day, and I mean, that was a decent movie. But I mean, it cut a lot of corners, but I understand it's supposed to be a movie like how she ended up with all the kids anyway, but that's a whole nother thing.
As black people, should blacks be moving towards the... I'm not saying the Republican Party or the Democrat Party is going to solve all of our problems as black people.
Go ahead.
But if we've been voting Democrat for how long?
I'm going to say
years?
Since 1964, when Lyndon B. Johnson made that statement.
And you've been... What are our results right now?
Right? Because, see... as a matter of fact, we digress instead of progress. As a matter of fact, I'm going to even go back farther. John Kennedy and his brother Robert Kennedy, they were some scammers, first off. Now, the way they converted the King family, Martin Luther King was in jail in Birmingham, Alabama. So Robert Kennedy, who was a congressman, along with his brother, who was a senator, John F. Kennedy. They were running for president against Richard Nixon. So Robert Kennedy said, hey, why don't you call Coretta Scott King, which was Martin Luther King's wife, and let them know that we're concerned about him being in jail, and we're going to do all we can to get him out of jail. So they did that, and you got half of the black people. Still, a lot of black folks voted for Nixon because my father is 87 years old, and he would tell you that in his lifetime, Richard Nixon is the best president there ever been. Because we're not talking about Watergate and all that kind of stuff, but we're talking about the state of the economy at that time. Because I'm from a family of 6 kids. I'm the youngest out of 6 kids. Mom and dad worked, raised us. We did not have to worry about a thing. We had all that we needed at that time. And my dad would tell you that Nixon had this economy better than any president that he ever seen. But then after the Watergate scandal, and Gerald Ford, unfortunately, was kind of ineffective because Nixon left a bad taste in the Republican mouth. Jimmy Carter came in and made us weak. Jimmy Carter had us so weak until the Iranian took some of the American hostages, held them for hostage for a year and a half. And then when Jimmy Carter tried to do something, he had 8 people on a helicopter trying to fly over there to rescue them, and the helicopter crashed, killing everybody inside. Oh, I mean, it sounds comical, but it's sad because he was ineffective as, you know, someone that was fighting for America. So when did the hostage get released? Right after Ronald Reagan inauguration, because Ronald Reagan said, well, I tell you what, if those hostages are still in Iran when I become president, it's going to be hell to pay. So after inauguration, they got a phone call. Oh, the hostage been out in Iran been released. So this showed the weakness and ineffectiveness of the Democrat because they're just trying to appease people to line their own pockets.
Oh, they're good at that. They're real good at that.
Yes.
They real
because
good at that.
all these people that I know who are going to Biden, the former mayor of Columbus, Steve Benjamin, lining his pocket. I know him personally, but he could care less about me because I can't line his pocket.
Yeah. And that old, I had to bring Clyburn again, but I know what he's
doing. I know him too, personally. He don't care about me. He just trying to line his pocket.
Yeah, I know. To keep people on his side, he would throw fish fries, ain't it?
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah. Come on out here. Come on out here. Get some of this fish. And remember who to vote for.
Exactly. That is no lie.
I remember that.
Because see, Malcolm X made the speech, the ballot or the bullet. He said every year these politicians come out here. They come out here act like they're your friend, trying to get your vote. Once they get your vote, you can't find them nowhere.
Right.
I had a situation years ago. I lived in the 6th district of South Carolina, and I called my congressman.
Oh, you
Only thing they try to do is get me off the phone.
I'm sorry about that, brother. That's why we got a forum like this. We're gonna hear you out. We're gonna try to push what we can push, but we gonna only do what we can do.
So, and like I said, I was there, full force Democrat, Obama all the way. But as I started looking at things, I'm like, no, this is not right.
Yeah.
It took someone, it took me talking with Deuce here to start seeing these things.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I showed him the light.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but the position that I guess we in, which you ain't got no choice, is like you got to pick one or the other. So I mean, if they screw you, then all you can do is jump around like a hot potato. so I don't really like that part.
You do what's best for you and your family, and right now Biden ain't it. It's not it. No, I'm sorry. So yeah, let's get this thing moving along. What else? Because I had all kind of stuff on this, but I mean, we can. What else you want to talk about on this?
Okay, well, I guess we can move it forward a little bit. Rush the Truth, you still with us?
Oh, I'm here.
Okay, so let's move it up to what we gonna do going forward. We got 2023, so we got 2024 coming up, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys is going with Donald J.
Trump, Uncle Trump.
Uncle Trump.
Uncle Trump.
Now,
Uncle Trump.
Okay. Now here's the thing I got, right? I see Trump. I like Trump, and I ain't afraid to admit that. Last election cycle, I voted for Trump.
You gonna vote for him to win again, right?
We're gonna see who wins the Republican nominee.
The nomination.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
All right, but they don't put him in jail. Yeah, go ahead.
But one thing that when he lost, I understand. Well, it is what it is. It lost, got to move on, man. That's what it is. But you got people going crazy like he's some kind of mystical creature. Want to storm the Capitol? He's still our president. I'm raising hell. All right, go ahead.
All right, so the whole storming the Capitol thing, right? All right, so I was watching that live. I watched that live, and I actually knew people that were there on the grounds as it was going on.
Go ahead.
And what they witnessed versus what the media witnessed, two totally different things. A lot of people, aside from the person that I knew that was there, tons of other people were saying the same thing. I didn't see any of that. I didn't hear any of that. But then you also got it now. Here you go, fast forward. It's been 3 years ago? Yeah, 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Some change out before, yeah. So they coming out now and saying that they got security guards. That's why they had to let who was it? They called him the QAnon shaman. They had to cut him loose. Yeah, the QAnon shaman, the guy that was up there looking like a Viking with horns on and rugged looking type mountain guy looking dude. They threw him in jail for 3 years after that. After Tucker Carlson, before Fox News gave him the boot, showed where the guards were leading him through the Capitol, trying to open doors to find him places to go through. But now you also got more coming out and from the FBI saying that a bunch of them were out there inciting the whole thing.
Mm.
They were pushing the whole thing.
They had God taking pictures with the so-called insurrectionists.
Yeah.
God taking pictures with them.
Trump is all over. He's still over there. His speech hasn't even ended yet. His speech is still going. It's towards the end of it. And while he's still over there talking, telling people to go peacefully, you can tell people to do something good, but it's not up to you if they decide to do something bad. If it's not on you if they decide to take that twisted and do whatever they want with it. You said that you wanted peace, but they're trying to blame him. Exactly. People are trying to blame him for the actions of knuckleheads.
I agree with you saying. People gonna do what they're doing, but they're saying on the outside of that speech you're talking about is one thing, but one thing Trump knew that the old-fashioned politician didn't know is that go through the internet. So he was, with these whole lot of backdoor messages going on. You see what I'm saying? So that's what they're saying. How it was decided.
So do you believe what you saw on the media will make a way?
Is Ashley Babbitt real? Yes, she got shot.
Okay, you got me on that one.
Do y'all know Ashley Babbitt?
Yes.
Yeah, I know Ashley Babbitt, but she wasn't the only one that died.
But was that brother that shot her? Was he a Democrat?
Probably.
We don't know. We don't know. But he did his job.
Did he do his job? Was it his job because she was unarmed?
Yeah, she was unarmed. Yeah, you're right about that. But they say, I guess they were storming the Capitol.
My whole thing is white woman.
Now, real quick. Now, when it come down to the media, here's something that I say all the time.
Oh yeah.
We got, your CNN, MSNBC, you got Fox News, so on and so forth. I'm old school. I remember the CBS Evening News, Walter Cronkite. That's the way it was today. There was no slack. So what I guess I'm trying to get at is that if you're gonna watch the MSNBC and CNN, they're going to have everything slanted to be favorable of the left.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah, I agree with that.
And this is what happens because, okay, here's what happened too. In Jacksonville, Florida, the white guy shot and killed 3 black folks.
The white
terrible. Yeah, that's
right. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about Puka or Ray Ray going to the party shooting up black people. Where's the outrage? Where's the protest? Where's the Black Lives Matter? I mean, am I missing something?
No. I agree with that. They need to stop that, and they do need Black Lives Matter. But I guess,
but Black Lives, yeah, I'm sorry, Bill, but Black Lives matter to us. Everyone I talk to on this podcast matter to me. It's not just when someone in Jacksonville, Florida, goes and shoot 3 black people. Dylan Roof shoot 8 white and black people, and then when we look at the numbers compared to that, unfortunately, more black people are killing each other, and these cases are not as numerable as, like, say, Chicago or Chirac. It's not numerable. Every day, some black folks are killing some black folks, but there's no outrage.
Hold on.
There's nobody marching.
Go ahead with your outrage, Deuce. Go ahead with your outrage.
So let me do a presentation. See, he went right where I wanted to go. Thank you.
I got something to say about that, but go ahead.
I got something for you behind. Can y'all see the screen?
Hold on, let me share the screen now. There's no vulgarity, right?
Yeah, ain't no vulgarity. It's nice.
Okay, let's see what we got.
Well, let's share the screen here, right? So look, this right here is the FBI 2018. I had 2019 with 2018 crime statistics, right? So, we got all our different crimes: murder, rape, robbery, aggravated assault. Let's just focus on murder for right now, right?
Go ahead.
So you got your race, you got your white total, white, black, American Indian, Asian, Native American, all that. I don't know why they don't got Hispanic on here, but that's weird. But anyway, so they do got Hispanic and Latino on the end. All right. So you have 7 million, out of all the crimes, the 7 million crimes, 8,957 was murders, right? So out of all those murders, 3,953 was white. forget that. Let's go to the percent distribution. This is what I want to focus on here. So out of your 5,319,000, your 5 million white people, 44% of those white people did the murders, right? You go over here to black African American, it's only 2 million offenses charged. But out of those 2 million, 53% of those was black. So what I want you to understand is 2 million people committed more crimes than 5 million people.
Hold on, 2 million people. What? So you're saying blacks committed most of the crimes? That's what you're saying?
That's ain't what I say. This is what the FBI say. This is what the FBI say. So out of the 2 million black folks that's in the United States that committed crime, that committed murder, those was 4,778 murders that black folks committed. Half of those murders were done by blacks. Now,
go ahead.
Now, and out of 5.3 million white people. So basically, what I'm trying to say is there's less black people did more crime than white people.
I hear you.
Not including killing ourselves. Go ahead, though. You can switch it back.
I hear you, but to read Rock's point about, I guess in the media, they don't put it like in the media, like in the Black Lives Matter, don't help out with the black folks, because black folks killing each other doing crimes is wrong. They need to stop that. They need to cut it out. I don't disagree with that.
But why they only talk about when the whites kill the blacks?
But let me finish explaining. Because some reason, most of that crime is isolated within the black community. It's not hate crimes. Of course, it's hate against another brother for doing whatever, for, y'all don't know, stealing from me. You sold me a bad bag of weed or something like that, or you been with my baby mama. But they ain't
the reason for the murders, it doesn't excuse. I mean, a murder is a murder. I mean, there's no, but it's like they don't want you to see that the black community is actually responsible for something. You got all those kids up in Detroit, Chicago, and California. What was Baltimore. The one up in Baltimore? You got, but even up in Chicago, case in point, you got a lot of, you see it every day, TikToks, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. You got a lot of black kids storming through places like Nike, some jewelry stores, smash and grab and doing all of that. And then here comes the mayor. What does he say? Oh, they're just misunderstood teens. They don't know no better. You know what? It's okay. They're just acting out. What the heck do you mean they're just acting out? And then on top of it, he just came out recently because, you know, Hyundai and Kia have their software issue with the recalls with their security system. Who does he want to go and blame? He wants to go and blame the car manufacturers. He's not going to tell the kids that they're wrong, that parents need to go ahead and lay hands on their kids and teach them a lesson. No, he's saying, you know what, car manufacturers, we're coming for your wallet. We're coming to sue you because this is your fault that they out here stealing.
I agree with that. The people shouldn't be doing that. They shouldn't be doing that. And the people need to stop that. And I guess they got to fix their cars, but we need to prosecute these people to the fullest extent of the law that's doing that with the Hyundais. But back to what I was saying about the killings, and I know you say a murder is just a murder, but what I'm saying, if we go by social media and the media labels, do black folks commit hate killings though? Do they go to
yes
I mean do they go to another community and do it though?
Okay, so you had just this coming year, earlier this year, you had 2 black guys. I had to find the article real quick, but 2 black guys, one of them confessed, they're both in their 20s, one of them confessed that he wanted to kill a white person. He came out and confessed that he wanted to kill a white person. And then you know what they did?
What they did?
They went out and they shot and killed this white handyman. He was out there fixing a mailbox, 66 years old.
I gotta address this comment.
I do. What you got?
I need another presentation. But it's not exactly about as far as murder. But I want Miss Aisha to see this. Hold on, give me a second.
Oh, here you go with another screen share. But
Yeah.
and I agree because there was a black fella. I don't know if he was retaliating. That shot some people in Texas, right? And he was some kind of law enforcement, used to be or something like that.
Ray.
I remember that happening in California. In California, the guy called Dave Chappelle talked about him on one of his stand-up routine. I can't remember the guy's name, but he went around because he felt like the police did not. He was a police, and while he was on a routine traffic stop, I can't remember the full story, but he felt like a black person was treated unjustly when he addressed it with his superior. He was shot down. This is what he said because he wrote a whole manifesto. So he went around just randomly killing people. I think the people he killed was white people. And he was caught in a house, and the house, I guess he set the house on fire and died in the front of the house. But so I guess what I'm trying to say is that it does happen the other way. It does. And
even in Waukesha,
it's wrong. It's wrong. You know, we cannot do. But my whole thing is that let's stop. And this is like our liberal media trying to incite us as black folks. And then let's look at majority of the black people who was probably killed by someone, right? The killing was wrong. It was wrong. Don't get me wrong now. But you made moves on the wall of George Floyd. Lack of a better term, but the killing of George Floyd was wrong. But let's look at who George Floyd was.
Really?
All right, okay, before you get into this now, some people going to say you're tap dancing, but go ahead.
I guess so, but still, when you a stand-up citizen, you're not going to have these type of situation. I'm going to give you a true story when my son was born back in 1990. 1990, I was coming in from Germany. My son was born here in South Carolina. Came home, put on my Run DMC warm-up suit, driving a SUV, went to the gas station. They had the one police at the gas station. Older white guy. So he came to me and he said, "Oh, you looking snazzy there, guy, and you drive and put a nice vehicle." And immediately, instead of saying, "I don't have to tell you nothing," I said, "Well, sir, I just got in for Germany. I'm a soldier. I'm coming to see my son." You know, I showed him my ID card along with my leave paper. And what I was doing was de-escalating the situation. A lot of time, some of us escalate situation and don't like the outcome. I'm sorry it's gonna upset some people. I'm sorry some people probably gonna be offended. But when you are dealing with law enforcement, you're supposed to try to de-escalate the situation. Don't escalate it anymore. I don't have to tell you nothing. If I don't have anything to hide, I can show you my ID. If I don't have anything to hide, I can show you my registration. If I don't have anything to hide, I can tell you who I am.
I do agree with that. Because I got to pull over plenty of times and I always have my stuff straight and I ain't never had no problem. But that's me personally.
But see, I mean, and just me personally too. But when we look at some of the people who have been victims, they may have got killed in the wrong way.
Right.
But I hate to say it like this because some people gonna get upset. Was they truly a victim totally? And the aspect of the situation at the time, they were probably a victim. But the way they carried themselves and lived their life, they was not a victim.
I understand what you're saying. Now, Deuce wanted to present something else. Now, what you got going on? You want to let us know?
Let's go to the Black Lives Matter website.
Oh God, go ahead.
This is what I got to address. I can't let this go, man, because they actually have edited this website. It was some other stuff on here, but let's go. I'm on the about section of Black Lives Matter, right? The main. This is the Black BLM website. This ain't no fake. This ain't nothing. This is what it is. All right. So let's look at what their beliefs are and what their agenda is. Let's look at this first paragraph right here. And while you looking at this, I want you to understand the order and what they're leaving out.
We understand it.
We affirm the lives of Black, queer, and trans folks. You can stop right there.
Oh my!
Why is the first thing you talking about is LGBTABC? I don't understand that. Let me move on. They talk about disabled folks. I'm cool with that. undocumented folks. Don't sound like black people to me. I'm documented. I'm American. Black or Negro American. Folks is records. Criminals. Women. And all black lives along the gender spectrum.
Uh-huh.
What's missing here?
Let's say all lives the gender spectrum.
But why did they specifically go out of their way to say all these certain types of people? But they missing a group of people that I do not see on here.
I mean, you gonna say the men, but if
That
you
man.
yeah, but they say black lives. I mean, you don't think that includes men?
No crap, it includes black men. But why did they started out? They should have started out with black women and men. They should have started out like that. Then everybody else. They started out with queer, trans, disabled, undocumented, and criminals.
Well, I think that goes to I guess kind of what we talking about at the beginning of the show, because a lot of that helped boost Obama's last term and Democrats, and they always going for that, so they had to appease it. I understand exactly what you're saying, and I don't even get the answer why. But if Black Lives Matter, basically from what you see it on TV, is because of crime, which got nothing to do whether you're straight or gay or whatever. It's like it should just be focused on black folks getting gunned down by the police, right? That's what you're trying to say.
What's the truth? Who started Black Lives Matter?
Oh, you mean the two fat lesbians?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, the two fat lesbians.
Okay. I thought the man was supposed to lead the family and black people.
But that ain't got to do it. Getting shot ain't got to do it with no family.
That's what you're wrong.
BLM. Don't forget now. BLM. They build their empire off of people like Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. They talking about talking about the justice for them, but didn't donate not one dime.
Well, they're ambulance chasers. They're just a group of what Al Sharpton used to be.
Let me ask you this.
They got a new guy now. They got a new guy now. Ben Crump.
Yeah, Ben Crump.
Let me ask you this. What did they do with that $90 million? What school did they build?
Question.
What did they do? What neighborhoods did they build up? What schools did they build up? What community neighborhoods?
By large mansions.
Black Lives Matter is a joke, man. That's a joke.
Yeah, it seems like it kind of faded away though, right? You don't hear too much about it now.
Yeah, because they scammed the whole black community. That's why.
They really did.
So y'all saying they did a Democrat move?
Yes. Democrats, yeah, duh. Come on.
Now,
they're not Democrats. No, they were communists. They were socialists.
Oh, wow.
They pulled out from what was his face? I can't call his name right now, but they even cited it. They even mentioned it, like even on their website at some point before they edited it.
What did Black Lives Matter do with that $90 million?
Karl Marx.
Second off, the message is not a joke. The message is not a joke. It should be duh Black Lives Matter. It should be duh. I mean, I hate to say this. Everybody's life matter as human beings. Period. Point blank. It's like it shouldn't have to be said that only black people's lives matter. Black people, everybody that's an American citizen, that's a human being on this planet, their spirit, it matters. Nobody don't want to die. Nobody ain't trying to get killed by police and anything like that. We shouldn't even have to say that. Right. But what did they do as a group, as a what you call them?
Organization.
Organization. What did they do for black people? Now,
I understand what you're saying. It might be a little bit rhetorical, but I think they did, help out with some funeral calls, some refreshments and stuff like that, for these people.
They came after the fact. They came after the fact.
The two fat lesbians got a bunch of money. Ben Crump probably got a piece. Al Sharpton probably got a piece. Now, when we look at organization that's for black folks, okay, I think about the Nation of Islam. Why? It's because when you look at the origin of the Nation of Islam and people particularly like Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X, these was conservatives. Mm-hmm. They were conservative because they were talking about building up people as far as entrepreneurship, get your own business, pull yourself up. They wasn't for the handout. They wasn't for all the subsidies that were given to us to weaken us. I can't really speak everything on Farrakhan because Farrakhan kind of goes both ways. But if you read and listen to what Malcolm was saying, Malcolm didn't go with no Democrat Party. He did not. He
was doing his own thing.
Right. And because, see, as a matter of fact, the reason he was silenced and kicked out because of what he said about the Kennedy assassination. Chicken come home to roost because he told the truth about it. Because in the Kennedy administration, there was a black African liberator named Patrice Lumumba. Mm-hmm. Lumumba was in the, pretty much like Stephen Biko, Nelson Mandela, who were fighting for independence in Africa, except Patrice Lumumba was in the Congo, and he was assassinated and killed and cut up and burnt under the watch of John F. Kennedy. So this is why Malcolm X said the chickens were coming home to roost when Kennedy was assassinated. The same thing you were doing and allowing people, allowing the stuff to be done to people in Africa, the same thing happened to you. And this is when Malcolm got kicked out of the nation. Mm-hmm. He tried to get back in the nation by getting Cassius Clay in, who became Muhammad Ali. But once they got Cassius Clay and changed his name to Muhammad Ali, then they told Malcolm goodbye to good riddance. But they had a more conservative base because they were talking about empowerment, true empowerment of us as people without having to depend on our government.
Right. So go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I just want to say one more thing. And I just remember what Ronald Reagan said. He said, what words you want to hear is, we are the government and we're here to help.
Hey, that's what they said during COVID.
Yes.
Now,
we got in the band of no not woman.
Yeah, that happened with the Breonna Taylor thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, and this is getting a little off subject. We're gonna get back to the original point, but I don't know. She was hanging with some kind of dope boy that was doing some stuff.
Yeah.
She was hanging. Yeah, that kind of that was kind of deep on that. But
not doing what she's supposed to do. You with her,
But
she ran with some. She ran with some knuckleheads.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying is that all the people who was killed was people who really wasn't on the up and up. I mean, I
understand you hate to say that.
Yeah, you hate to say it because the man probably shouldn't have had his knee on George Floyd's neck for 9 minutes.
Oh, that's wrong. That's wrong.
George Floyd was a crackhead.
But did you see the video? Before that moment?
I didn't see it, but see, he was fighting against the policeman.
Yeah, you shouldn't fight the police.
Before he ended up on the ground, they had him 10 minutes sitting in the back of a cop car, babying him, basically.
Okay.
He was sitting in the back. They didn't release that video until after the trial date and everything. Like after the whole media blew it up and after everybody stormed through and burned down other black businesses. There you go right there. You got black people going through burning other black people stuff down. But nonetheless,
there you go. Yes.
But nonetheless, they had, before he was on the ground, he was sitting in the back of a police car freaking out, and they were like, "We're not, they were calming him down. They were patting, they were chill. He was chill. He was inside the police car. Then he said he claustrophobic, and so he asked to be laid down. And then they laid him down like he wanted, and then that's when it just blew up from there.
Okay. Now, another case that I want to talk about when we look at these situations, the one in Atlanta at the Wendy's.
Oh, yeah, drunk in the drive-thru.
Yeah. There you go. Drunk. You drunk. Then the police say, okay, we got to take you in because you out here drunk in the drive-thru. and not only that, he runs from the police. He takes their taser. He shoots the taser at them. And then they said it was an injustice.
Hey, man, let's check this out. I'm tired of all these excuses, man. Why is black young scholars always in these situations in the first place?
Right.
Why? You don't never hear about Asians in these situations. But you don't never hear about Asians in these situations. Yeah, white people messed up, black people messed up. Why are we always in these situations in the first place?
Some folks will say because that's the media, but other stuff is just not pointed out. I don't know if that's true or false, but that's what some of the saying is. Now, the fella that was in Atlanta to drive through, now I do say they gave him ample amount of opportunity. They let him move the car and everything. They gave him a whole bunch of time. They was actually being nice to that man, but
they was.
Yeah, no.
But he's the one that decided to run off and take the taser and shoot at the police. What do you expect when you shoot the taser at the police?
Yeah,
because the police are taught to eliminate the threat. The threat was I got a taser pointing at me that somebody's shooting at me.
But see, this is another thing. This is another thing. People like, all right, police, they're human too. All right, they mess up. They mess up. They out there on the job. They risking their lives to come and try to save other lives and de-escalate and bye and all of that. So they're humans too. But you know what you don't see? You don't see people putting that same energy into the medical industry with all the medical malpractice. That's another situation, another issue. But nonetheless,
yeah, that's another show.
Out here. yeah, that's something different. But nonetheless, they show up when they're called. They don't want to be viewed as racist. Right now, the media has everybody hating cops, especially if you're white. And then they show up. They're trying to do their job, de-escalate the situation. They're probably giving more chances than they should be giving. But because the media is so quick to call them racist, because all of a sudden they just see color. It's just black and white. It doesn't matter what the situation was. It was just a black person and a white cop. And all of a sudden they jolly old down, what was it? During the, civil rights time and stuff like that, Jim Crow. All of a sudden that just comes back. All of a sudden everybody got PTSD, and then yes, it's racist all of a sudden.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
No, go ahead. You good.
I would say y'all on fire tonight. We're gonna bring it back before we get to this mini conversation. We're gonna bring it back to the original point about what I'm saying.
Make a way. Hold on.
Democrats, you're saying a lot of these people wasn't Democrats, maybe on leaning Republican side and pull themselves up by the bootstraps would minimize some of this stuff.
If they voted policies over politics, they would see a world of change. And I think I know a lot of people are seeing that now. Whether they believe, the election was stolen or not, we got Biden in office at the moment. and they are definitely seeing a huge difference.
Okay. Go ahead, Deuce.
If y'all like this stream, first off, get the likes up. Subscribe if you like this content. Hit my boy.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, WP Sledge and follow his Instagram. We'll make a way. You see what I'm saying? We putting out deadly content. This is what y'all want to see. This is what we got to talk about, man. This is the serious stuff we need to be talking about. All that crap, let's get it out of the way, man. Go ahead.
Well, it's definitely free speech. But I'm of the mindset, right? Maybe some different policies will help some different things out, but besides some kind of COVID thing where people just getting money, people gonna be out here doing grimy stuff because of the way the economy is running.
It's the world, bro. It's just the world we live in. I mean, you can't control all these people on this planet.
That's what I'm saying. So
people gonna do what they gonna do, regardless.
That's what I'm saying. So, Trump coming back.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm not saying he coming back. I'm just segueing into the next thing.
Okay.
Cause y'all say he coming back like Return of the whatever, Darth Vader or whatever.
That's right.
I don't know. They did mighty well with that mugshot. I ordered my T-shirt.
Oh wow. Well, yeah. Now Trump, he's good at that. Anything that's gonna be negative, it bounce off of him, and he can flip it and turn it into some kind of business thing. So his business acumen, we can't knock that. He could turn around, but that ain't gonna mean that they ain't gonna stop trying to put him down or whatever, right?
And you know what it is, and I'll just make this quick statement. It's because they really, really, really want to control us. He showed a lot of stuff when he was in office, stuff that you probably thought was false, never heard of before, whatever. You saw a lot because a lot of the stuff you've been talking about today.
Right.
So because he's shown the light on it through his presidency, but nonetheless, if he were to return to office, there's a lot more that would be exposed. Your reality will be turned upside down, and that's what a lot of people don't want to see.
It would be turned upside down.
It'll be turned upside down, and then you'll be too free. They don't the powers that be, the cabal, and all of them. They don't want you to have that.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead,
Ruth. Like she said, they want to control us. They want to have us under their string like puppets. And that is true. And this goes back to what was said, what I've been saying throughout the evening. This is why they put a lot of us on these government subsidies. It's because, for one, the government want to be our memory man. Be the baby makers now. That's what they want.
Damn.
I mean, look at it. What's the most popular thing they put on these shows? The basketball wives, where none of them are actually wives. They the jump offs.
It's basketball wives in Pound Town right now.
Right. So you put all the stuff out here to try to normalize this.
If you really want, I'm sorry. Go ahead, B-Rock.
Yeah, to try to normalize the fact that this woman could go out here and have about 3 or 4 kids from men that got money or whatever. We have another guy who is a simp that married to a woman who was married to a drug kingpin. I was trying to not to name them.
And Harvey.
And to me, and this is my opinion, I've gotten verbally jumped on from saying this. This is a dude. His popularity come because he says everything that the baby mamas and women who are not trying to do the right thing wants to hear. He does that, but let's stay with the Democrats. Democrats, like we've been saying the whole night, it's a party of people that want to have you under their control. They don't want you to have a business. They don't want you to get into entrepreneurship. They don't want you making your money hand over fist. They want you under something dealing with them so that they can have you under their control.
Look at what happens when a black person steps off the plantation, so to speak, because that's what they call it. They left the plantation. So
okay.
look at how they turn on that black person. Yes. When that black person decides that they don't want to think a certain way, that they actually do have an opinion, that they can actually be a free thinker and think for themselves, think outside the box, and not have to go along with the Democratic plan, they get scrutinized.
Well, you get that. You get that a lot from the.
Go ahead.
I mean, you get that a lot from the boomers. I mean, V-Rock, his head is on the swivel. He can see both sides, but a lot of the boomers, like people that's now getting up into their 60s and in their 60s. Now the millennials kind of, you get a feel of them say, "Oh, you going for Trump," but it's more of the older crowd, the young people, which is probably a problem too, especially Gen Z after us, after the millennials.
I forgot I forgot what generation they got going on.
They really don't give a damn what
boomers,
you do.
Gen X, millennial, and now it's the Gen Z.
Yeah, they don't give a damn what you do.
Right, they don't. Now I want to bring up one person who was a businessman and an entrepreneur that people don't know about. The late Herman Cain. Herman Cain made it as a very successful businessman. But as Ruth was saying, he was scrutinized by the left heavily. But this is a man that was a proven businessman.
Right.
He started businesses. I don't know if anybody remember the Godfather Pizza. In some part of the United States, they still exist.
Yeah, I remember the Godfather Pizza.
Herman Cain.
Yep.
Yeah,
but he was a businessman. And see, I'm gonna tell y'all, from what I see, Democrats don't want us to prosper in business. They don't.
No, And you got a lot of black businesses out there.
Yeah,
A lot of them, and part of this whole COVID thing, lockdown, the whole economy thing is to try to cripple that because a lot of them are middle class.
right.
They want to destroy the middle class. But also, before I forget or before I run out of time, I also want to pinpoint, like, for the historical parts, we're talking about stuff that a lot of us probably never heard of when we went to school. Think that public school system right there, that's another government controlled situation. But again, that's another topic for another time.
Yeah,
But if you want to really get a bigger, understanding or know more, watch the documentary Uncle Tom. There's Uncle Tom 1 and Uncle Tom 2. It highlights the black community in politics, what politicians did to destroy the black community and make it to where it is today.
Yeah, a lot of people think Uncle Tom was the bad guy.
Yeah, no, and that's another thing too. You can call me Uncle Tom, and you right here, you don't even know the true thing about Uncle Tom.
Yeah, we have to
people that never read the book.
Yeah. It'd be better for them to
if
say
you
you
didn't
tap
read the
dancing.
book, you gotta go with that narrative. But when I read the book, Uncle Tom was actually a stand-up guy. I'd rather be Uncle Tom than a black Democrat.
So there's no redeemable qualities for these Democrats. You're saying the way we got to go is Republican. So
right now, that's the best way to go. I mean, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You might as well pick the best choice. So right now, Democrat is not it. It is.
What was it Trump said? Trump said last time, "What do you have to lose?"
So
that's right.
So do y'all use just like you saying, if you mention like around some people, black people that you go on Republican, that you got a Trump shirt, that you've been to a Trump rally, they jump on you. Do y'all do the same thing in reverse to them? Do y'all use communistic tactics to them and tell them what they should be doing?
No, I just have a conversation.
Yeah, I done been to a Trump rally. It ain't nothing but love.
No. What I'm saying is, when you talk,
when
somebody tell you,
when you're a black Trump supporter, do you go to the Democrats and jump on them about the way they feel?
There you go. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, I'm gonna tell you what happened, y'all. Another eye-opening experience for me. I had so many of them. Every Martin Luther King Day, they would have a march to honor Martin Luther King. Pretty liberal led, so on and so forth. This was probably a year after late Rosa Parks died. So the guy was speaking, and he said, and if the people would have been taking care of Rosa Parks like they should have, she would have still been here. And then something clicked in my head. Wait a minute. Rosa Parks was 92 years old when she died. She exceeded her life expectancy. And for you to get up there and say something like that is completely asinine. But people chilled because they are made to be the sheep just to go along with what somebody say.
Yeah.
So see what's happening is that I don't know. Maybe they say these stupid things just to see how much they got to people. I don't know. But
the left has done really well at playing on the black community's emotions.
Yeah.
They've done really they that right there. If they can strike that nerve with you, you basically just like you know shivers down their spine. You're like, oh, we got them type of thing. They eat that up because they know that you will go for it.
And see, they use these connections like this Jacksonville shooting. And on the day when in Washington, D.C., they was commemorating the 60th anniversary of Martin Luther King I Had a Dream speech. The guy was in Jacksonville killing black people.
Yeah.
And you know, they escalated. They add on to it to get your emotion. He went to the HBCU, Edgewater University in Jacksonville, Florida, HBCU. And he tried to go there. But guess who else went to HBCU and spoke about the people he helped with his First Step program? Guess who else went to the HBCU and spoke on that?
Who's that?
Donald Trump.
Say he did it.
Oh yeah,
Donald Trump went to Benedict College in Columbia, South Carolina. I'm an alumnus of. I graduated from there. and he spoke on the First Step program, and he had black folks talking about how that program helped them get off drugs and become productive citizens in society.
Well, see, another thing Trump did for the HBCUs was like each year they got to go ask for funding.
Yes.
He made it to where they didn't have to ask for funding. I think for about 10, 20 years or something like that. Each year they always got to go up and request funding. Why you always got to go up and request funding? But he said, no, you don't have to do that here. Here's an extension. You don't have to worry about that for another 10, 20 years. You had Obama in office for 8 years. And he didn't do that. He didn't do that.
He did cash for clunkers.
Black Obama was asking for assistance for all those 8 years. Never got it. Never. Because the Democrat Party don't want you to thrive in business.
We'll talk about him and Michael later. I mean, Michelle later.
Well,
and now they coming out with that slow. You know that. Time to hide and it's over.
We ain't gonna go there.
So going into the future, I seen a report, but they trying to I think they trying to get Trump in court as fast as they can, right?
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah.
They trying
election to get him interference.
Yeah, they trying to get him in. So if he does get tied up, what do you guys think is the best choice? I mean, out of what you see on that debate stage.
On the Republican side, I'm going with Vivek.
Ramaswamy.
You going with Ramaswamy?
Yeah, Ramaswamy.
He's number 2, but Trump always my number 1. They gonna have to like really.
We know who number 1, but number 2 and 3, I had to go with Ramaswamy and DeSantis. I see DeSantis 2028.
DeSantis?
Well, it's DeSantis' fault that the guy shot the people in Jacksonville.
Oh yeah, that is right. That's his fault. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it's always his fault.
Yeah.
but this is how they escalated.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I mean, you know, like someone had just mentioned, like Trump don't care about us. I don't know. I mean, Biden ain't done shit. Except shit on himself.
Yeah.
Well, see, Biden. Let me tell you the thing. What Biden got, which we got to see more of that fade out over time with what they call it, attrition, when people just pass off or whatever. Because Biden still got a hold of that crowd that's around his age and a little bit under them boomers, them people that's glued to the TV.
Biden is a puppet.
I hear that, but one thing I guess, and they still got that card that goes with them group of people I've been talking about. They got that race card, which some people in my family like that.
Yeah,
Trump could say I'm gonna give you a free whatever. I'm gonna have free running water for the community, electricity. But as soon as they hear a racist come from the other side, he's a racist. Shut it down.
It's a trigger.
Okay. Biden became a senator back in 1972.
Right.
Some of Biden's closest friends were these
KKK members.
Racist. Yes.
Yeah, he was hanging out with Strom Thurmond, ain't it?
Let's see, Jesse Helms of North Carolina, Eastman of Georgia. All these were non-racists. Who were the Democrats?
No, Trump.
One of them,
but Trump the racist though. Trump the racist.
He went to the funeral of one of the Klans members. I can't remember his name, but he's even in the picture holding hands with him.
No, all the Republicans is racist though. She said so was Trump.
But see, Biden only took the vice president's position under Obama is to become president and to what's the word I'm looking for? And to dupe the black folks.
What? That's true. What? Let's ask this question.
Sure.
In general, what if we had to pick? We only got 2 parties, and the independent. The main 2 parties is Republican and Democrat. What party has done more for black people in the last 20 years? Let's ask that.
Democrats. Not Democrat. Republican, because let's look at Reagan 8 years in the White House from 1981 to 1989. Jimmy Carter had America looking like a weak pansy.
Didn't Reagan come out when he was the president?
No, that was George Herbert Walker Bush, Daddy Bush.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Republican. Yeah.
Like I was stating earlier, soon as Ronald Reagan walked in the White House, because for 479 days to be exact, they had over 120 some American hostages in Iran. And so when they had any hostages, Jimmy Carter did nothing, but he acted like he was more scared than anybody. Ronald Reagan.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Ronald Reagan, when he became, when he was running for president, and he said, if these hostages is in Iran when I become president, when I go in the White House, it's going to be hell to pay for Ayatollah Khomeini and the rest of them. But guess what? The day after his inauguration, he was inaugurated. He's put his hand on the Bible, showing in special news report. The hostages from Iran being released. Because he put some fear in somebody. Something that Jimmy Carter was not able to do in 4 years.
Let me ask one more question. Who helped write the crime bill for Clinton in the 90s?
Joe Biden.
Oh man, damn.
Now Joe Biden. Now I heard something about that. That's true what you're saying. But then he come back in the future and said that was a mistake. But I understand it was done by then.
But did he do anything to repeal it?
Well, I guess he put Juneteenth out there. Hell.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Hell no.
But then he made Kamala Harris his VP, and she put a lot of people in jail based off of that bill.
Damn.
Right. Okay.
Well, come on now.
Kamala Harris. Okay, let's look at Kamala. Kamala talking to Charlamagne the God, the same one that Joe Biden said, you ain't black if you don't vote for me.
Right.
But Kamala Harris talked to Charlamagne. Charlamagne said, well, what you think about marijuana reform? And she said, are you kidding? With that horrible cackle of hers. I'm half Jamaican. I toke up. But yet you locked up tons and tons of black men in California for toking up.
Hey, I got one more question. Hold on, let me fix my camera. I got one more question too.
Still blurry.
The guy, I don't know. The guy that helped write that crime bill in the 1990s, what drug was that about?
Was it about crack?
Crack.
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 What is that guy, that same guy's child is doing?
Oh, Hunter?
But that's cocaine.
Oh, he doing it all. He doing it all.
That's called crack cocaine.
Including making baby with strippers that they don't want to claim.
Well, let me bounce back to Kamala Harris. Now,
okay.
Now, I don't agree with all the politics, but she was prosecuting. Her job was a prosecutor. Right? I'm just trying to be fair. I'm trying to play both sides and get both y'all opinions. She wasn't out there pulling these people off the street and bringing them in. When she did what she had to do, that's because they already got to her desk. So wouldn't that go back to what V-Rock was saying? These people already ain't doing some stuff that they shouldn't be doing to end up in them situations. Because she wasn't going pulling them off the street. She wasn't driving a police car. She was just.
You talking about what was it? It was the amount of marijuana that she got that she threw him up in there for. You talking about 15 years?
But she didn't cuff him.
She was doing her job, locking this up. That's what she was doing.
Well, also she was doing other folks like the mayor of San Francisco, Willie Brown. She was doing Marcel Williams, the talk show host. I seen the sign. I don't know if I showed it to Deuce or not, but the bumper sticker said, "Joe and the hoe got to go."
Hey, didn't she talk to Montel Williams back in the day?
Yes, she did.
Yeah, she was on his arm. But her ex will come out and he's come out and spoken out against her. He's not a fan of her either.
She's an Indian. She's an Indian. She ain't no black woman. There ain't no black woman.
She said she had Jamaican. That was she said.
Yeah, she said
she had Jamaican.
Yeah, that was she said. Even though we never seen her.
She don't understand anything she said. She speaking rhymes all the time.
But she cannot complete a full sentence without that horrible cackle.
The cackle in hand.
Well,
who likes her?
Let me bounce forward. So if this Biden thing somehow works out again for Biden, that's probably the plan. Biden gonna have to step down.
Yes.
And then that's probably what they're shooting for.
What they still, I've heard a couple of situations that might come up. One, a lot of people don't think we're gonna have a 2024 election just because of how crazy the left has gotten. Two is if we go into war, because we got this whole thing with Ukraine, Russia, and then we got China and Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
If we go into war, then the sitting president remains president.
Yeah,
throughout that war.
True. That's true.
So if we do end up going into war, Biden still remains president. Now, what could possibly happen? He might, fall down the steps a little too harder, and boom, we got Kamala.
Get off that plane.
Or going up the plane. It's always going up the plane. It ain't going down, it's going up.
Yeah, going up.
But you got that situation, and then you also got the situation. There's also, maybe Michelle, aka Michael, being the nominee. And then you also have Gavin Newsom. I mean, you gotta wonder why did they cancel the Democratic debates, national debates? They don't want debates.
No, they already got their man. Yeah, they already got their man.
They got their man or their woman.
Right. Anytime when you have an incumbent president, they do not want anybody running against him because they feel that it's gonna make him look weak.
They already sticking with him. They ain't no. That's what they're doing. So, but I gotta ask one more question to the chat because this is going long. I appreciate all y'all coming up. But Cutie, put a comment in the chat if you're still there. Then we'll go to the other story and shut it down. But I just want to pause and say, if you're still in the chat and want to go on that story, let me know and I'll bring it up. But back to what we were saying.
And get the likes up.
Yeah. So what if Biden win? I mean,
I'm moving out of the country.
If Biden win, we lose.
I'm moving.
No,
out
I'm
of the
saying, are we done? A Capitol storming? Are we done saying we're gonna bring them back? Are we going on to the next? Are we going on to the next Republican candidate for the next 4 years? Whatever. Are we still worried about Trump?
Interest rate's gonna be 15%. It's gonna be World War III and the end of the world. I don't know. I'm just being sarcastic, but I'm just saying it's. Man, look at gas. It's $3. Almost about to be $4, $5 in certain other places. Nobody can afford housing. Housing is. I mean, people gonna say their rebuttal to what I'm talking about is people gonna say, "Oh, well, the president don't got nothing to do with that." This man shut down all the pipelines. He letting all the immigrants in. I don't want to say the other word. He letting in all the immigrants in. He blew up the pipeline over in Europe. That's a conspiracy, but who knows? I mean, it's real ironic.
I bet you he crushed that submarine too. But,
At this point, I mean,
oh god,
that was a distraction for what he had going on with him and his son and China
and Hunter
and all this stuff. This man making millions and millions of dollars while he was under Obama and Michael. He was making millions of. That's illegal. You can't do that. Why? Okay, if Trump's so bad, why ain't they found out about all his business dealings while he was president?
As much as they've asked about his tax returns.
Right, but we found out all the stuff about Joe Biden and all his millions and millions of dollars. He was dealing with Ukraine presidents. I mean, he was dealing with he had a business, Burisma, over in Ukraine. Just so happened we get in a freaking war with them, or proxy war with them.
You got that. They got some company. Who was it? It's Mitt Romney, Nancy Pelosi, of course Biden, and there's a fourth one. I want is it McConnell? I don't know, but all four of them got sons that are over a business dealing that they got going over in Ukraine. That's why they were so quick to get over there.
Man, look. Anyway,
how many billions of dollars have Ukraine gotten since this war started?
75 billion to be exact.
Ask Hawaii how much they got.
$700 to Ukraine. 75 billion.
$700 per household.
Okay, so $700 per household for a United States, a state that belongs to the United States, as opposed to a country in Europe or Asia. So the state of the United States got less money than this country over here.
Yeah,
that don't add up to me.
No, it adds up when you got business dealings over there with that country over in Ukraine. Oh, it adds up for them.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you what's going on, because me and Deuce had a conversation a couple days ago about America taking over stuff. So when you look at the Ukraine thing, what America trying to do, I mean, you say we're the greatest country in the world, they're trying to take over. That's what they're trying to do. So you're saying that we shouldn't be trying to do that? We should back off, because at the end of the day, you know, they, like I say, it's a proxy war. We just pay them to fight a war, so we could be.
You talking about go over there and being a part of Ukraine or helping out Ukraine? Ukraine isn't even a part of NATO.
I know they're not a part, but they was trying to, and that's what Putin didn't like. But Putin was, I guess, from what I'm seeing now, is basically saying that Ukraine is too dumb to see that the U.S. just want to get chummy with them so they could be at Russia back though. So that would be
no.
You don't think so?
No, no. Ukraine and this is all about money.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be about money.
It's like Mr. Krabs on SpongeBob. Money. That's all it is. We over there, they said that we were going over there to help Ukraine fight against the war on Russia. First of all, that ain't got nothing to do with us.
Yeah, that's a lie. That's a big lie.
That's got nothing to do with us. You're talking about going over there for support and to help their borders, secure their borders and stuff like that. Have you seen how those people in Ukraine are living?
Oh yeah,
those people aren't worried about no war. No, those people in Ukraine are living it up on the beach and partying.
And you want to talk about white supremacy? Do you know all the different white supremacists
who said that
over there? It's white. It's all kind of white people. What you call them over there? I forget the name, but you think it's bad over in America? No, it's even worse over there. You can take your behind over there. Talking about some Black Lives Matter.
Well, yeah, I mean, black people ain't got they ain't gonna work over there.
You take your behind over there messing with their women.
But still to go back, Ukraine is over there. They're getting billions rather from US living it up. We over here, you got you got businesses, black owned businesses, all owned businesses struggling. You got households struggling. You got the housing market in shambles. You got interest rates. They talking about raising the interest rates again.
Yeah.
We got our border wide open. And you got illegals coming through and killing our own.
But you got billions of dollars going over to Europe. Now, what about me? What about us?
And
black people?
With those illegals coming in, they bringing all that fentanyl as well.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, if United States, whatever, with Ukraine, if it work in their favor, would United States have a permanent hand in Ukraine?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Now they got a footprint over there, and that's what Russia do not want, right? Because it's closer to Russia, right?
That whole thing was between Russia and Ukraine, and it should have stayed between Russia and Ukraine.
Right.
America wants to come in and try to be the savior, but America can't be the savior all the time. That's like me coming over to your house telling you, "Hey, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you clean this up, fix this up, and put this food on the table for your family, but your household is in shambles."
Exactly.
You can't do that.
Exactly. I feel like okay, I was in Germany when the Berlin Wall came down, and Germany became one united, country. And what I think they're gonna want is to have like another Germany situation going Ukraine. You might have a part that invaded by Russia and a part that belonged to the U.S. So I don't know if that's what they're trying to do. Real make a way, what you say?
Right. I say they're trying to help out. I say when I guess the president of Ukraine went against what Putin wanted him to do, I think he put them both in a bad position, because either Russia gonna leak in or America gonna leak in.
Yes.
So let me ask you this, Will Makeaway. Do you support the war in Ukraine or not?
I don't support it, but I think it's the government found a way to sneak in. It might take a long time to do it, but it's a leak, and they found it, and they're gonna go in there.
What they got to do with us?
I think it's a huge money laundering scheme. Why in the world are we again pouring so much money into this country that we really have? I mean, they're not a part of NATO, so that goes against the treaty or commitment that we have with NATO. So you just turned your back on NATO when you did that, especially when they said that America has boots on the ground over there. That's an act of war if we actually have boots on the ground over there.
Well, I got to go back to this, and I know now you're sending billions of dollars to Ukraine, but $700 a household in Hawaii.
Right.
Most people mortgage payment are much more than $700.
Right.
Well, Hawaii itself, their grocery bill is probably $700.
Exactly.
Hawaii is the most expensive state, #1. I looked it up. It's the #1 most expensive state in
Yes.
the United States.
So what is $700 going to do for them? Man, you sending billions of dollars to the place where you saw we're doing cocaine and hookers.
Go ahead, man. Hey, Will, it's on you.
Yeah, well, let me tell you guys, we've been going about 2 hours now, and I think
it's on you, bro. It's on you.
I think, and I appreciate everybody, V-Rock, Rush the Truth, Deuce, all y'all coming up, but we're gonna have to do this again, get back up here. We get another topic, and I think I'm gonna just scratch the other one because another person wanted to talk about that, but I think we went on so long about this because this is very interesting. I like all points of views. But y'all got any last shout outs before we get up out of here? Because I think we're going to shut it down for the night.
Pro Sports Base, come check me out. I'm making more channels. I know I've been talking about I was gonna do it, but yeah, we're gonna get real raw on my side. So if you want to come check me out, come check me out. We're talking about sports, football, basketball, and I got my political channel, Old Boy TV. Go subscribe, like and subscribe on my side. V-Rock, Russell Truth.
Well, I don't have anything. I mean, I have my Instagram, Rush the Truth, but I'm not fancy like you guys yet.
Oh, well, don't worry. We have another panel. We're going to bring you back on up. As long as you're willing to come back up.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I enjoy myself, and I look forward to being on in the future.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Thanks, Deuce, for bringing me on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
All right, guys.
Hey, shout out that Cash App, man. Shout out that Cash App, man. Make sure they like the video and everything, man. What?
Yep.
We ain't working for free over here.
Right. Let's see, we got one more comment here, and we're gonna get up out of here. Yeah, thanks for joining, DJ Trife. Yeah, thanks for joining. We're gonna be back with another one. All right. Y'all make sure y'all comment, like, subscribe. Come on back to the page. We appreciate you looking and checking us out. We're gonna be back with another one. Will Makeaway. We out.